What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. So as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about the time I detoxed in a hotel. So if this is triggering for you or if this is going to upset you, please click off of this video. I will see you in my next one. I love you, but I don't want you guys to be upset by this or triggered by this. It is going to be a graphic video. I'm going to go into detail of what it was like for me to detox in a hotel. So again, if that upsets you, I will see you in my next video, which is going to be on Monday. I know a lot of you guys ask about my upload schedule. It is usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. However, I could not post on Monday of this week because I was in LA. If you guys have not seen my LA vlog, I will leave it on the card up here. But for today's video, let's just get right into it, you guys. One more thing before we get started, I am sick. That's why my voice sounds like this. I've been sick for the past week or so, but moms don't get sick days. You know what I mean? Students can't take sick days if they go online, which I do. YouTube doesn't rest for anyone, so I don't get a break. However, I am starting to feel a little bit better. I know it sounds like I'm not. It sounds worse, but I feel okay. So I think my fever went away. Okay, anyway, not what this video is about. Well, kind of is about fevers. Y'all know I will ramble for 20 minutes before we get into the actual video. I need to stop that. All right, without further ado, detoxing in a hotel. Here we go. It's gonna be uncomfortable, as is detoxing. So October 20th, 2011, I left New York. I ran from some charges that I was innocent of because I knew I did not want to detox in jail. I've done that several times, but I didn't want to. I knew that was gonna be tough. I didn't want to do it that way. And I also knew that fighting my case from jail was gonna be not in my best interest. I wanted time and distance, and I wanted a good lawyer, and I wanted to fight from a ways away from New York. Anyway, I called my boss on the magazine crew, and I will leave the magazine stories in the description box of this video. I called my boss and I said, hey, NYPD is looking for me. I've got to go on the run. Can you please hire me back on? Can you please get me a bus ticket? He always did that for me. If I was on the run from parole or if I was on the run from charges, he would always give me a job because I was very good at my job. We traveled around and sold magazines door to door, kind of like the movie American Honey, but in real life. So I will leave those stories down below, like I said. And I'll never forget showing up at their hotel. I have a lot of respect for my old boss. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a good person. I didn't want to let him down, but I knew I had to be honest with him. And I said, look, man, I'm gonna have to detox for a couple of weeks. And he kind of just took a second to digest that. And he's like, this is the last fucking time. And I'm like, yes, this is the last time. I promise. I feel like addicts always make that promise. And not that we don't mean it. I think a lot of times we mean it. Like, we're so genuine, like we really do want this to be the last time. So when an addict says, like, I promise I'm never gonna go back, I'm gonna do it for real, I feel like we mean that in that moment. But relapse is part of it. Addiction doesn't care. It's a lifelong battle. You know what I mean? So I remember in that moment being so sincere and like really wanting this to be the end. I really did. I didn't want to let him down. I didn't want to let anyone down. And I was so tired. I was so tired. I was tired of dealing. I was tired of being that person. My debt was a lot. I mean, like, I don't want you to feel bad for me. I want to explain my mentality here. Like, I was so done. I was so tired. I was so done. I didn't want to be part of that life anymore. I genuinely meant it in that moment in February in 2011. I meant it. I meant it. I meant it in my bones. But addiction doesn't care. So my boss got me a separate room away from the crew. He did not want them to know that I was there until I was healthy. Now, on this magazine crew, I was what was called a queen bitch. It's just the title of it. It's stupid, I know, but queen bee is what I was. In order to become a queen bee, you have to have X amount of sales in a 1 week time period, whatever. So that's what I was. That was a very easily obtainable goal for me. You get agent. The hierarchy is agent, team B, queen B. I was queen B, and then manager. I'm sorry, then junior manager, then manager. So he's like, I don't want the crew to see you like this. When you are healthy, by all means, you can go back to work. So the first night, I'm in this hotel room by myself, and it's not that bad yet, because I had gotten high probably 10 hours before. So I was okay. I couldn't really sleep though, because my mind is like, it's gonna happen, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. So I was like obsessing over that. I wasn't hungry, I wasn't thirsty. The next day is when it really kicked in hard. I had started detoxing, you know what I mean, sometime in that night, but the next day it was full on, my body's hurting. It's just hurting. It feels like I have the flu. I know I have a fever. I know I'm starting to be dehydrated. And it was just a lot of pain. I called my boss and I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I'm in so much pain. And he said, I'm going to send you someone, another manager who was my friend. I'm going to send dude to your room. He's going to help you. He's going to get you what you need. Ibuprofen, water, whatever it is. He is your dude for the next few weeks. My friend gets to the room and he takes one look at me and he's like, oh my God. I was completely pale, sweating, and he said, you need to get in the bathtub. Get in the bathtub, run it really hot, that'll calm your body. As soon as I got in the bathtub, I was so hot I couldn't stand it. I had to get out of the bathtub. Then as soon as I got out of the bathtub, I was so cold, I was shaking. Not just like, oh, I'm a little cold, like convulsing, like physically shaking so hard. This lasted for days. My legs hurt so bad. My bones felt like they were breaking. I could not sleep. And it was just so painful. The guy that my boss assigned to help me, basically, yes, he was there to help me, but he was also there to babysit me to make sure I didn't go out and cop some more dope. And I kind of knew that was his angle with this, you know what I mean? He heard that I felt like I couldn't do it and I was doubting myself and I was really, really sick. So he assigned this person to help me, yes, but he also assigned that person to babysit me. So the helper, day 3 is like, oh my God, I can't even be in this room. It smelled so bad in there, you guys. So I remember him bringing a candle in and I'm like, that's probably not going to do anything. I was literally having like diarrhea, but it wasn't like, it was like the most painful diarrhea. Like, I can't even explain it. The pain of the diarrhea was so excruciating. I felt it all in my stomach before it would come out. Like, it was killing me. It was so painful. I mean, like, I can't even describe the pain of that. So there was that. I was throwing up. So this room probably smelled like the most vile shit ever. No pun intended. I mean, it just probably smelled really, really bad. It also smelled like takeout. So the helper would bring me everything from Cracker Barrel to gas station food. And I remember like probably a week in, he brought me Girl Scout cookies. And that sounds so random, but they were the shortbread Girl Scout cookies and I was actually able to eat those and not throw them right back up. So he was bringing me water, he was bringing me Gatorade, he bought me BC powder, like ibuprofen powder or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, like that's not gonna help me, that's not gonna touch it. I was just in so much pain. All I wanted to do was sleep. And I just remember thinking like, why can't I just go to sleep? Like, please just let me go to sleep. So about 2 weeks into this, I remember thinking like, I just want to die. I went to bed thinking, I just want to die. This cannot be what my life is. While all this was going on, about 2 weeks in, I got on my phone and I checked Facebook for the first time since I had left New York. And I had death threats. I had people telling me, I hope you die. People were upset that Randy was in jail and I wasn't. Randy robbed a store that I worked at and I ran from that case. I didn't do that. Randy did that. But everyone felt like I should be there too. So his family came after me. Other people came after me. People were upset that other people had gone to jail for different things in that area, like dealing and stuff. And they were upset that I wasn't in jail. So I had people telling me, just kill yourself. I hope I never see you again. And it was just like my whole, like, especially Randy's sister, it was just so much. Like, people just kept telling me I deserved to die. People kept telling me that I was a piece of crap. People kept telling me to take my own life. And while I was going through the most painful detox of my life, I felt like no one cared about me. Like, I felt so alone and I felt so like I didn't have a single soul in my life. So My friend, the helper that was helping me detox, he saw me on my phone, like just crying, like I had not cried over the detox. I could handle the pain. It was excruciating, but like I had been here before. We had been here before. I could do this. But then he saw me crying and looking at my phone. He grabbed it out of my hand and read it, and he turned it off. And he's like, I'll hold this for you. You don't need to read that shit right now. And then finally, I'm just like, can I just tell you about my case? Now listen, my friend has been to federal prison. He is very, very articulate. He knows the law very well. I'm explaining every single detail of my case, of the charges that I just ran from, and he said, Jessica, this will get thrown out. This will get thrown out. They have nothing. Running was your best option, because if you're fighting with a public defender in a county jail, you're going to prison. This is going to get thrown out. If you're telling me the truth, if you're telling me all the details of it, you're good. You're good. Don't turn yourself in. Don't do that. Because I just thought like maybe I just need to turn myself in, even though I didn't do anything, even though I was completely innocent of this crime. I was just so out of my mind. I hadn't slept. Now everyone hates me, and it was a lot to take in. So he's like, you will win this. And he was right. It eventually got thrown out. New York State would not extradite me from Arkansas, and they dismissed it due to lack of evidence. They had nothing on me. The only reason why they wanted to press charges on me is because I was dating someone that committed armed robbery, you know? Like, they had nothing. I didn't premeditate this robbery. I didn't plan out this robbery. I had nothing to do with this robbery. And they pulled text, and they pulled all kinds of evidence that specifically says, like, you could see it. I had no idea this was gonna go down. Anyway, my friend is like, you're good. You're good. Don't read that shit. He's not gonna get 25 years. Like, stop. Because I was thinking, like, if I turn myself in, maybe I could help him. I hadn't slept for days. I could help him. I could help Randy not do so much time. And he's like, the only thing you're gonna do is help yourself get time. Like, just sit down. So he was just the voice of reason in that. After a couple of weeks, I woke up one morning and I felt okay. And I was just like, wow, I'm not in pain right now. I'm not in pain. Like, this is amazing. I took a shower. I put a little bit of makeup on. I got dressed and I went down to the office and I told my boss, hey, I want to go to work today. He looked at me like, what? Like, really? Because 2 days ago I saw you puking off of the balcony because you tried to go get a Sprite from the vending machine. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I'm okay. Like, I can go to work today. I went to work and within 3 hours, I had 12 sales in all cash. That is approximately $600-700. My commission on that is $300 or $400. So it was a really good day. And man, I just felt so good. I wanted to have a 20 sale day so that I could come back with a bang, so that everyone knew, like, oh, Jess is back, 20 sales all cash, she's doing so good. You guys, detox comes in waves sometimes. I got to 12 sales within like 3 hours or so, and I started to feel it again, and it literally felt like I was in so much pain. So I tried to catch a cab to go back to the hotel. I was stemming, which means I was selling in Walmart. I didn't knock doors. I was a stemmer. Anyway, which means you sell in public, like malls or Walmart. So I'm trying to catch a cab, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm pouring in sweat. I'm just like, oh my God, where's this cab? Where's this cab? I couldn't find a cab right away, so I had to run back into Walmart and have diarrhea. And then I'm like outside Walmart, I'm trying to call a cab company, and finally I asked some like random person, I'm like, hey, my hotel's across the highway and like down a little bit, can you please take me there? Like, I'm so sick. This girl took one look at me and was like, yeah, I got you. So she drops me off at the hotel. I go into the office and I throw my pad case, which has all the receipts from the magazine subscription sales, and all the cash. I put it down and I said, I can't fill that out. I have to go back to bed. I thought it was okay. I'm not okay. So I went back to my room, and I'm same thing, tossing and turning and throwing up, and my bones hurt. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I thought it was better. Like, I thought it's been 2 weeks. Like, how long is this gonna take? Like, I thought it was okay. Oh, I just was so frustrated because those 2 weeks felt excruciatingly long. Now my crew knows that I'm there, and a couple people kept coming to my room and they're like, Jess, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? I wasn't at all. I was not at all okay. And I didn't want them to see me like that. I wanted them to see me strong. I wanted them to see this queen bitch. Like, I was very good at my job. I liked that job a lot. I didn't want anyone to see me as weak as I was. I was ashamed. I was definitely feeling really low. The next day, one of the managers asked, like, Jess, you have a room to yourself. Can I please put my new girl in your room? And I said, if she doesn't mind that I'm sick, it's okay. So my friend, the one helping me, explained to this girl, she is detoxing, just be patient with her. But you know, there was 2 queen beds in there. So she's, you know, she had her own bed and I had my own bed. This girl at 2-3 o'clock in the morning kept getting phone calls on a hotel phone like 8 years ago, right? So it's loud. You know, hotel phones are kind of clunky and they're loud. Not a fancy hotel, okay? And it was like mad long ago, so it's like the old phones. She kept getting calls and it kept waking me up. Like, I would just barely fall asleep and the phone would ring and I'd get back up and I'd just be mad. And I'm like, please stop getting these calls. Please go to sleep. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, I'm in pain. I was like pleading with her. I was not being mean. I was not being disrespectful. I desperately wanted her to turn the freaking light off and stop getting calls. Like, I was in excruciating pain. And she said, do something about it, junkie. Guys, I was so furious. I was so, like, I'm sharing my room with you, first of all. And even though I'm embarrassed, I don't want anyone to see me, but I'm sharing my room with you, and it's like, oh, this is the first thing that me and this girl had even said to each other. Because I'm like just trying to go to sleep and trying to like pretend that I'm by myself. And I had gotten in the bathtub, out of the bathtub, in the shower, out of the shower, in the bathroom, out of the bathroom. Like, it was just so rough. You know, and I do feel bad that like that girl had to be in that room. Like, it was not a good room. We had gotten candles and incense and, you know, I left the door open for hours. Like, I did try to make it not gross, you know, but still. So when she said that to me, I mustered up this much strength, as much strength as I could, and I took that phone and I ripped it out of the wall and I threw it across the room. And she gets up and she yells at me because her mom is calling. Like, dude, no. Like, at 3 o'clock in the morning? Like, come on. Like, how many times is your mom gonna call this hotel room? Like, I just wasn't even hearing it. You know, she's like, my mom is calling. And I remember throwing the phone and it was so loud. So I remember the sound of that phone hitting that wall and her yelling at me. And I went to walk back to the bed just to lay down, you know, and she pushed me. So after she pushed me, I kind of like stumbled and fell. Like, I'm weak, you guys. I'm weak. So I stumbled and I fell, and she went to walk away. She went to leave the room. My friend's immediate reaction is, you put your hands on a queen bitch, like, you're fired. I'll get you a bus ticket. You're done. Anyway, moving on. A couple of days go by. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. We are in week 3. And I kind of just had to force myself to get up and move around as best that I could, drink water, drink fluids. Now, I'm still periodically throwing up. I'm still periodically having restless leg syndrome. I'm having diarrhea. It is still happening in week 3. It's dissipated a little, but I kept trying to force myself and tell others around me, I'm okay, I'm okay. Week 4 was a little bit better. I was kind of on the mend in week 5, and I worked for a couple of days. While I was working, my boss asked that I knocked doors, and I was in this neighborhood, and I saw this small white Toyota Corolla, older Toyota Corolla. We were in Virginia at the time. I see him driving in this neighborhood and then driving out, and then I saw him come back again and then go out, and it's obvious he doesn't live there. So keep in mind, I'm week 5 off of heroin. Starting to feel better. I just went through the most excruciating pain of my life. I stopped the guy in the Corolla and I asked him if I could get any heroin. I'm like, yo man, what are you selling? I know you're in this neighborhood. Just hook a girl up. And he's like, little girl, I'm not gonna sell you anything. Are you kidding? Like, it made him nervous, and because I'm small and I look young. So all I had to do to cop dope in cities like the south side of Chicago or Virginia or wherever I was show them my arms. I'm like, look, you're not giving someone that's never taken it before drugs for the first time. Like, I'm a user, I'm an addict. And he looked at me and was like, fuck, all right, how much you want? And I said, how much you got? You guys, like, I promised everyone around me I was gonna stop. I just detoxed for 5 weeks. It wasn't even a thought in my head. I didn't even think about any of that. I didn't think about the promise I just made to my boss. I didn't think about finally starting to feel better. I wanted to get high. I didn't like how I felt in my own skin. I hated myself. I hated leaving my boyfriend. I hated that everyone wanted me to die. I just didn't want to feel that anymore. I just didn't want to feel that pain anymore. I'm telling you this because I want someone to take something from this story. I might look strong today, but it has been a battle. It has been so hard. So I'll never forget that guy dropped me a bag of capsules with H in them. And I had never seen it packaged that way before, so it immediately made me nervous. I'm like looking at it, and I snorted a little bit of it, and I'm like, all right, we good, we good. I went back to the hotel, and I immediately got high. And it was just, I was done. That guy would come to my hotel every single night and give me $200 worth of H. And me and my friend Doug, who is no longer with us, he passed away from an overdose 2 years ago. He never got clean, but this dealer would come to my hotel, I'd call him, he'd meet me, he'd hit Doug, he'd hit me, and this lasted for 3 weeks. And then one night we were supposed to jump to go to Kentucky, I think it was, or Kansas, maybe Kansas. My boss comes in my room, which he had never done. Doug and I had monster weeks. We've made a few $1,000s that week each. We have just killed it. I'm talking 40 sale days. Like, we're just doing so good. My boss comes into my room, which he never did, and he said, Jessica, I'm so proud of you. I've never seen you work so hard. I've never seen you sober. I'm so proud of you. You're doing so good. And I just thought, please don't look in the bathroom, because when he knocked on the door, I was getting high and I had to just run out of the bathroom and close the door and make sure the blood wasn't running down my arm. So when he came to the room and sat down and told me how proud he was of me, I was like, I'm the biggest piece of shit ever. So in the middle of the night, I left with my friend Doug. We took a U-Haul that was in Doug's name and we left, because we couldn't jump all the way to Kansas because there's no good connect in Kansas. So I left my crew, I left my boss, I took all the money that I had just earned, and we went and got high. Me and Doug and his girlfriend just took off. A couple months later, I found myself in Arkansas selling meth, addicted to meth. And eventually I went to prison, and that's how I got sober. I just want you guys to see, like, the struggle is so hard for addicts. There were so many moments where I wanted to quit, so many moments where I thought I could, so many moments that I detoxed and went through that pain and went right back out. And those around me couldn't understand what the fuck I was doing. There was no rhyme or reason to it. And a lot of times those watching us struggle don't understand. I want you guys to know that if you have relapsed, it's okay. As long as there is a pulse in your body, there is hope for sobriety. Please do not give up. Whether you're still in active addiction, 1 day sober, or 10 years sober, I am so proud of you. If you are still struggling, please reach out for help. My contact information is in the description box down below. I will help you find a meeting or a detox center or a rehab. If you don't have insurance, that's okay. We can find a place for you. I will never forget what it was like to go through that. It doesn't matter that I have almost 8 years sober. I still remember that. I still fight too. I still fight too. I've just learned for me what works for me. I've learned what triggers me. I've learned how to respond to that, and I've learned to ask for help. It does not make you weak to ask for help. It makes you so strong. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. We are all warriors, and we're all in this together. I'm gonna end today's video here. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober, and I'll see y'all in my next one.